Okay, so I am Paras Loomba. I started a social enterprise in tourism called Global Himalayan Expedition, also known as GHE. What you see on this screen or that screen, and thank you, Mr. Warner Rojas, I believe that's how you spell the name. I'm going to come down from Mount Everest to 4,500 meters, but still higher than Costa Rican plateau. This is a monastery, a 1,500-year-old Buddhist monastery, which was solar powered by us in 2016. It's inside a cave, and we took a group of people and installed solar microgrids in just 2 days. So these are the stories I'm going to share today. Very simple, very beautiful, lots of pictures, so enjoy. My background is I'm an electrical engineer, so I have nothing to do with tourism. It just happened to me. So you see the panel there? That's a solar panel of 330 watts. And around 13 years back, I made a journey to Antarctica, which is, of course, down south from South America. And the idea was to meet penguins. When I met them, I was inspired. I came back and I thought, what can I do in my own country? So I kind of looked at a problem which was still lurking in the world. It is a problem of energy access. So there are more than 500 million people. The statistics say 700 million, but I think it's lesser than that, which still live in darkness. When I say darkness, I don't say complete darkness. They still use fossil fuels or small solar lights, but they are not connected to grid. The light which you enjoy here and the projectors and the lights here, they don't enjoy at their homes. Mostly in sub-Saharan Africa, some parts of Asia, and some parts of Latin America as well. So that is a problem my team took up, and we thought, let's try and combine tourism and technology and bring energy access to one of the remotest parts of the world, the Himalayas. So if you see here, the Himalayas actually extend from Afghanistan into Pakistan, into India, into Nepal, into Bhutan, into India, and again into Myanmar. It's a 2,400 kilometers long range, which includes the Mount Everest in Nepal as well. So, and we operate in the Indian Himalayas, which is up here above Kashmir. It's a place called Ladakh. It has a very similar region to Tibet. It's a cold desert. This area is known for amazing wildlife. Has anyone ever gone on a snow leopard expedition or heard about snow leopards? A raise of hand would do. Wonderful, lovely. So this is a place where the BBC Planet Earth documentary was shot around 10 years back. It's a place called Yurutse in Ladakh. It's a Hemis National Park. That's a one-house village. But when the night falls, this is what happens. They don't have grid-based electricity, so they definitely have tourism coming in, the niche tourists coming to spot snow leopards and ibex in the winters, but there is no light. So we figured out light, facilities, education is leading to the migration of people from their villages and a loss of culture and tribe. And that is the problem we wanted to solve. And that led to the genesis of Global Himalayan Expedition. So we started conducting impact expeditions to bring about sustainable development in the remote regions of the world, starting with Himalayas. And the idea was, if we can do it in Himalayas, which is also known as the third pole, we can replicate this any part of the world. It's a 13-year-old journey for us right now, so we are a bit old now, and we have impacted more than any villages you can see on the slide here. And the focus has always been on 5 E's: energy, environment, empowerment, entrepreneurship, and of course, education. So we weave it all 3 in, and that's how we do it. So we enjoy, we do adventure, but we do a lot of impact on the ground. So this is the way we work. We focus on tourism development, and these are multiple facets of tourism development work on. We can take a quick glimpse, and you'll see from health centers to community experiences to empowering women to creating entrepreneurs to energy access. These are things which are part of tourism industry and needs to be part going further. We start with impact expedition. What is an impact expedition all about? So this is a magic which will come later. First of all, we have to identify villages which have had no access to electricity. So we get a group of people from all over the globe who sign up on our expedition, and then we travel distance to the last point from where we start trekking. So this is a long trek. Once the bus stops, we go on a trek. This can be 5 hours trek, or it could be a 5 day trek. It depends upon how far the village is. Sometimes the trek can also be on a frozen river. What you see here, or for people here, this is a river called Zanskar, which gets frozen up in winters. So you have to walk on that river to reach these villages. And this is how the solar panels and the batteries are carried by the villagers. And once you reach the village, you are greeted by centuries-old, heritage and welcome. And that's how the travelers are being greeted, because the villagers know there's something tangible coming for them. And then all the travelers get together and set up microgrids or whatever the clean technology the village needs. So it's a pull model, not a push model. So before doing anything for a village, there's a baseline assessment to understand what the village needs. Based on that assessment, that is the project which is set up. So for this particular village, they wanted electricity and space heating for winters. So we set up the electricity for them and a space heating. And then the magic happens. The example is of a 1500-year-old heritage. This is a Lingshed monastery. It was actually shot by National Geographic as well. So if you go to Google, you search for Breakthrough Series John Howard, you will see a documentary on this. We're very proud of it. We got this done in 2.5 days. What I'm trying to say is you don't need World Bank, you don't need government sometimes to do something as big as electrifying a village or bringing more energy access. You can do it with the help of tourism. It can be a big force for good, or you can do through other avenues as well, where it can be faster, impactful, and the community can also get involved in it. Over the years, 13 years, we are a small enterprise, but we have tried our best to 30 villages, out of which 95 have been electrified through expeditions. The rest of the villages have been electrified through international grants, CSR, and other means as well. And that's the direct lives impacted. I won't call it carbon offset. We have actually removed the fossil fuels totally from this particular villages. One light bulb, that is the impact of one light bulb. Now the village you saw in the first slide has a solar microgrid of 500 watts. It's a DC microgrid, it's a bit technical, but what I mean to say is they have light now. And that's what the father was showing the son. So trying to redefine tourism, where travelers definitely enjoy the Himalayas, they understand the landscape, they meet people, but they spend a couple of days to do an impact on the ground. And this is an interesting photograph. If you see this particular person here, he saw the light for the first time in his life. And he said, where is the oil coming from? I said, there is no oil. There is a wire. It has electrons, and that's our electricity. It took us 1.5 hours to explain him that's electricity. And the picture here at the bottom. People were dancing when the light came in. Have you ever switched on the light in your house and started dancing? No. But that is what the power of basic human right, electricity, was. And this picture is also very powerful. The monastery had no light. But when we gave them light, he was able to clean the walls of the monastery, and he found the fresco paintings and old paintings, which no one knew about as well. Now, to make sure you don't sleep, we have a video for you. A lot of emotions. So we have just taken 4,300 travelers, not many, but 4,300 change makers, I would say, from over 60 countries, and they've electrified more than 90 villages. So we conduct expeditions every year. We don't do mass expeditions, but very single, because we have to identify villages, take people there, And then after the expedition, you have to maintain these villages as well. Which brings me to the next story, which led to the creation of homestays. When we had electrified so many villages, we were wondering, how do we maintain them? We, of course, we trained the villagers on different kinds of skill set of solar panel installation, any repair, but you had to have continuous engagement with them. That led to the thing that if we can set up guest houses or homestays in these villages, then there will be recurring visits to the villages, and the guide can act as a maintenance guy. And that led to the creation of mountain homestays, another initiative by us. So first of all, in all the villages we had electrified, we started setting up homestays. And they were these homestays, very, very beautiful. So again, a question for you. If you look at this room, what do you think would be the cost per night, including breakfast and dinner? Just a guess. No prizes? In dollars, please. Anyone? Sorry? $400 per night? Okay. That would electrify the whole village for me. This is just $25 per night for 2 people, right? And you can see them on, I think, on Airbnb, and they are hosted them as well. So people can book it online, go there, and of course you need a guide. So that is the kind of homestays we have been setting up. All these homestays are solar powered, so we want to make sure that it's eco-powered. And it has definitely led to a lot of women empowerment because all the hosts of these homestays are women. And we tried to keep it as an eco thing because we feel that most of the people, most of the communities in the Himalayas are already living a sustainable lifestyle. So introduction of technology, which is very clean, just accelerates or scales it to the next level. So you look at the design, the electric vehicles are mostly the bikes. So for people who want to go from one homestay to another, we are introducing electric bikes. That's a new thing. The rest is something which we are providing to all the homestays. Even at minus 20 degrees in the winters, these homestays operate because the communities stay there. The hotels close down, but the homestays operate. So, and just to give it an idea, what is the process of setting a homestay? We just don't barge into a village. We first go to a village, find an entrepreneurial mind, the lady who wants to do something in life, and then interview him, and then we figure out a baseline process. What is the village type? What are the experiences in the village? What kind of homestay do we want? Do we want to scale it to the next level or set up a new homestay? So proper due diligence is done. The homestays are set up along with the villagers. These are 8 inches mattresses. I mean, I'm staying at this hotel and the mattress is as good as my homestay mattress. So what I'm trying to say is the luxury is still there, but defined by sustainability at a rural level. And that's what I'm trying to say. They have LED lights in these homestays, which probably some of the hotels don't have. So they're trained, and this is the kind of homestays you have, $25, $30. The idea is not about the cost, but it is an affordable luxury where not even everyone can get it, but they can enjoy if they come in these areas, offbeat areas. We try to do a carbon calculation, and the kind of resources they were using earlier, after converting them, we were able to almost make it negligible. But homestays are not accommodations. They are experiences. So the idea was, where do we engage them more? So we added livelihood. So anyone has a Kashmir shawl, Kashmir wool shawl? Anyone? No raise of hands again. Oh, good. So we introduced these women in the winters have lesser tourists. So we gave them spinning and weaving machines, and that way they could generate and create pashmina shawls, stalls, the gloves and everything. And when the travelers came in the summers, they could give them that, sell them that. So it brought them additional livelihood as well. So that was an interesting thing, and we're doing this in Northeast as well, where we're setting up the food processing units as well. So you're trying to combine homestay experiences, homestay accommodation with experiences, which have a much more value impact for the travelers coming to this region. Something like this, doing pottery with the last potters of Ladakh. That's the last family, you engage them on a pottery experience. And this is something we started 5 years back, for which we have got a lot of awards as well, is combine a homestay with astrotourism. We call it astro stays. And this is not done by astronomers or, this is done by normal village youth or women or men. And it is not about seeing Saturn or Jupiter or planets, it's about combination of folklores. So folklores of how do the Marco Polo went on a silk route seeing the stars. So when you combine the stories together, and then you have a homestay here, and you have a local cuisine here, that's what lovely tourism is all about. And we coined this term called the astropreneur. You heard about entrepreneur? This guy loves being an astronomer, so we made him, and he runs a homestay, he runs the astronomy sessions, and that is it. And we introduced something called a Cosmo Hub, which is women-led. They serve the guests with local cuisine, they have their own handicraft thing, and they also do stargazing. And they try to combine cosmology with astronomy and astrology. So again, an experience in the mountains. We are not just going for point and shoot and seeing the wildlife, but trying to understand the tradition, and of course connecting with the science as well. Another video to keep you awake.
हमारा 4 लेडी लोग और मैं, हम लोगों को एक टेलीस्कोप ऑपरेट करने के ट्रेनिंग दिए थे। 3 दिन का था वो। तो वहाँ पे हम लोग साइंटिस्ट लोग जो बेंगलोर से आए हुए हैं, तो वहाँ पे उन लोगों से मिलके उन लोगों से हम थोड़ा ज्ञान ले और टेलीस्कोप कैसे हैंडल करना है। इस गांव में काफ़ी टूरिस्ट आता है, तो टेलीस्कोप के ज़रिए हम उनको कुछ स्टार और कुछ प्लैनेट दिखा सकें।
Tiang ada lala si met garder sala dola si tuen du pa jing di cinta tendari tuen du pa tiang yong amingle tiang res pa yong aja yong pa yong go yang di tong ring ja cheu pa li.
Yes, so astronomy, homestays, electrification, but we had to create a skill power. So we have set up skill centers and service centers to make sure that these are all trained regularly, because you need to create more workforce every year. So we have started training over the last few years. We have trained more than 1,500 1,500 youth into solar technicians. And of course, we have been doing through men and women both. This is the first solar woman engineer from Ladakh. And we have also been training on homestays. So all the Airbnbs in India who are super hosts, we are making sure that they're just not for Airbnb, they also provide good hospitality. So we have created training programs for that as well. So skill set has become an important thing as part of a journey. And again, we figured out that all these homestays, all these villages are in remote locations. So we had to come up with some kind of an application. So we came up with an offline app where travelers can download this, go to different locations which has no connectivity to mobile, and then get a full overview of that village. It acts like act like an offline guide where you can understand what food, what experiences, whom to meet, what to see, what to do. And something we're trying to do right now is we are trying to, like all the big hotels have, all our homestays, not right now, but almost 7 of them have this system where we are able to calculate the number of travelers coming in, the number of power consumed and produced, the waste, and the water consumption. It gives an idea in terms of what is the overall footprint of running a homestay, especially in a fragile area where there is limited water and resources. These things of systems is important. Yesterday I heard, I think Barry was saying or someone else was saying that it's important to measure to fix something. We believe a lot in measuring. Not only at a homestay level, at a village level. So we're working with the Government of India, and these are the list of villages. It's a program which Government of India has called the Vibrant Villages. Villages on the border of India and China or Tibet, you can say. And we are trying to get an idea in terms of how do we manage tourism, or you want to say understand the carrying capacity or whatever way. So try and understand the number of travelers coming in, the overall income the village is getting, the overall natural resource consumption in the area. I tried to make a AI image to help you understand. So this is what we have implemented in one village in Ladakh. So now any traveler coming into a village, we understand how many travelers came in the season, what was the overall income generation in that village, what was the water consumption, because the whole village has one pipeline, we put a flow sensor, so we understand is the water enough for the village or it's over-consumed. And of course the other small things you can integrate. Once you have a technology system which can do this thing, it helps you immensely in creating new destinations in a proper way. And of course, when COVID hit, our idea was to do something, otherwise we'll all lose our jobs. So we improved the healthcare in these villages. So now all these villages have solar-powered healthcare. We installed in 30 of the villages. And one of the village got a COVID vaccine because there was electricity. We got a medical refrigerator, and the whole 8 villages got vaccinated. And of course, then we had tourists coming in shortly. And the last initiative we started doing as part of our story was provide clean cook stoves to the eastern part of Himalayas, where there's a lot of firewood being used. So we deployed clean cook stoves in almost 82,000 houses across 2,100 villages. That's a huge project we've been doing for 5 years, and it's a carbon project. And the financing we get from these particular deployment, we reinvest back into the communities to set up more homestays. So carbon financing to set up community initiative. So I gave you various models of how you can introduce financing through travelers, through carbon financing, and still do community initiatives which are strong at the root level. A basic blueprint which we have formed over the years, which we normally use it for policy making. I mean, for us, Ladakh is known for wildlife in the winters. So there's a lot of emphasis on doing more training to the guides, introducing more funds for the guides. The rangers becomes the astronomers in the night. I believe the same would be happening in Costa Rica. If not, it should also be promoted to fund more on the wildlife. And this is the kind of blueprint, very specific to Himalayas, but I think it can be replicated across the world. And this is the impact of a single light bulb. It started with just electrifying one village at a time, and that's where we have reached over 13 years. And this may be, I would say, not all the parameters, but this is what comes into my head. And for this, we were awarded a bit of marketing of ourselves, which we are proud of, actually. We won the UN award 5 years back at Glasgow. We were the first travel company in the world to win that. And that got us excited because there are only 9 people in the company. So that is good achievement. And at the end, it's all about creating sustainable destinations, right? So that is the whole process where you end up doing the right thing the right way, the right time. And Hans, yesterday you were talking about passing on the baton and the first panel. Or the future holds for us, the future generation. We get a group of students every year to electrify villages. So I leave you with the last video. I know you won't sleep now, to see what the future holds. The hope that the future is not all about talk, but action. So here is the last video.
यहाँ का मतलब 4000 मीटर समथिंग, यानी कि 4000 प्लस मीटर पे हम लोग रहते हैं। एक यहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा बर्फ़ गिरते हैं, बर्फ़ भी इतना गिरते हैं कि बस 5-6 फुट तक यहाँ पे बर्फ़ गिर जाते हैं। तो उसकी वजह से हमें बहुत ज़्यादा दिक्कत होते थे आज से मतलब 5-6-7-10 साल पहले, क्योंकि यहाँ पे रोड भी नहीं थे, मेडिकल का या दवाई का कोई सुविधा नहीं था। तो ज़्यादातर गाँव में वही बूढ़ा बूढ़ी लोग ही ज़्यादातर वही रहते हैं, तो उसकी वजह से उनको बहुत ज़्यादा तकलीफ भी होते थे।
बिना लाइट से ये गांव में बहुत तकलीफ है।
हमारा गांव ऊंचा होने के वजह से पेड़ पौधे बहुत कम होता है।
You know, every trip has something to offer, but being able to have such a tangible impact on something, whereas like also learning about sustainability and being able to work with such a impactful organization like GHE and being able to meet such like wonderful people, members of the team, I think it's such an incredible opportunity that, you know, I don't think anybody is able to pass up on. I don't know how anybody has passed up on it.
I also think above all, like putting so much effort into coming on, like trekking all the way over these mountains, coming all the way over to Ladakh in such a remote space, and just personally helping these people put in rocket stoves and electrify monasteries. It was just like, it was so personal and so like genuine, like the effort that we're putting in, that, I don't know, it just felt like so purposeful, like really special.
So far it's really been the best experience of my life, I think I could say. And yeah, also I think the whole trip has just been really, really humbling in a way, and really a great way to learn about myself, because coming here at this high altitude, it's something that I've never done before. And it's been struggles, but I also got to learn more about like myself and pushed my limits to like far beyond what I could ever think possible.
Yeah. Thank you.